Hey everyone, Les from Comfortable Shoes Studio here, and I want to do a quick little review of the Daler Rowney Simply series of pocket sketchbooks. Now, this is a whole line of sketchbooks, and I'm going to talk specifically about the sort of vinyl covered pocket notebooks that they have. Now, these are part of their complete sketchbook line. This is a classic black hardcover. We'll talk about this in a whole other video. But for these are, if you notice, they look a lot like another brand. You know, they look a lot like the Moleskine, except for the overhang on the hardcover. So let's talk about these. Let's go over what their claims are and my actual experience. So this is a 100 GSM or 65-pound paper, soft white or natural white. It's got this cream color on the inside. It is machine stitched. It's quite sturdy feeling. It's pretty well stitched, I would say. The covers are this vinyl covering and pretty heavy duty, especially when you compare it to like the Moleskine Cahiers or Volant. Pretty hard covered. So they feel like they'd be pretty sturdy. I know from carrying the Moleskine Volant that the vinyl will eventually start to crack and flake around the spine. But because of the vinyl covering, you can really get away with carrying this in a pocket without any sort of covering. So it does pretty well like that. And I would expect the same from these. So this does usually this comes shrink wrapped. Obviously, I've opened it up. It claims, so this is a 3.5 by 5.5 or 90 by 140 millimeters. It claims to be good with pencils, pen and ink, and charcoal. It's acid free, 48 pages, same format as a Moleskine and other pocket notebooks like Field Notes. And it does well with pencil. Maybe I'll find a pencil and dry media. So like here's some crayon. Did really well with the crayon. Not quite enough tooth to layer it on particularly well. And then pencil, it does really well, obviously. So pencil, crayon, I would expect it to do well with colored pencil, but have some of the same layering issues. The paper's toothy, but not that toothy, so you can get some gradation and some pretty deep darks with pencil. And you can see what's going to be one of my main complaints here on this page, which is the verso of fountain pen. So I used my Jinhao 92 with a Fude nib, the Rowan Klinger Latte Black Sketch ink, it's just my favorite ink, in a pen that is very wet flowing, but has a lot of line variation. The paper itself does pretty well. There's no spread, no feathering, there's no issues with that. So the drawing looks good, but when you flip the page, there is significant show through and some bleed through in the areas where I use the pen in its wettest or overlapped. You know, if I cross-hatched and overlapped with the wettest of the lines, it definitely had bleed and show through. So not good with fountain pens. And I also did a test page in the back, and you can see here, this is all fountain pen ink and different pens, different types of nibs. Most of them, yes, are Fude nibs because that's what I'm using right now. But I also tested out the Pentel Pocket Brush pen, which has brown Carcos ink in it. And none of it did well at all. All of the inks, and unfortunately I did write some notes in here. Most of the inks had some show through or bleed through. So fountain pens are a no-go, but you'll notice this is a red gel ink, did not show through. So that's going to bring me to the other types of ink. So here we've got the fountain pen, all the soak through. Pencil obviously doesn't have any soak through. So this is a Uniball Vision Elite. That is a rollerball pen. It is not the wettest rollerball pen in existence. It's got decent flow, water resistant ink, great sketching pen, something I would suggest to beginners and a lot of people to test out and use. And we've got bleed and soak through, significant show through. So not, again, you're not going to be sketching if the Vision Elite is your favorite pen, not going to be sketching with it and using both sides of the page. Now, this is my favorite sketching pen. It's the Uniball 207 in bold. So nice bold ink, really wet flowing ink. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a lot of just a ton of ink on that page, and it looks perfect. And same with the Vision Elite. The rollerball ink looks perfect on this paper. Just really, really nice. There's no feathering, no spreading, nothing like that. It's just true to the point size. Same with this. No spread, no feathering, no problems with that. But you'll see, and some of that's chunks of crayon. Let's get I'm going to spread some of the crayon out, I guess. I'm going to try and erase some of it. Get it out of there because it's stuck. So there's not nearly, there are a few spots where in the cross hatching where there's a little bit of show through, but the gel ink does okay on this paper. So I think if you are looking for if you're a gel pen user or gel pen sketcher like I am, and you're not going to be using any fountain pens, you're just going to maybe use like a couple of different gel pens, this paper is going to be fine for you. Now, obviously the crayon's okay, but I haven't tested out other pens on it yet, but I suspect other gel pens are going to do okay. Rollerballs, any liquid ink is going to soak and bleed through. That's just my experience with the paper coming through. And yeah, so that's, I guess at $2.32, this paper is okay. It's going to fill a particular, if you use a pocket notebook, you want blank paper, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you happen to be in Walmart, you need a sketchbook, or you need something lightweight. At $2.32, this isn't bad, but this is not, this series, or this style of this series, is not one that I would reach for personally. It's not bad, but I want some versatility in my paper, and most papers today are, unless you're getting a higher end sketchbook, are going to have the same issues. They're going to be good for one material but not the other material. When a paper says that it's going to be good for pencil, pen and ink, and charcoal, I kind of give it the side eye because I really don't believe that's going to be the case. Generally, a paper that's good for both pencil and charcoal is not going to be great for pen and ink. I think this paper would be fine with like a dip nib. I do think a dip nib, like that kind of ink that you would use, like an India ink, is going to have problems with this paper. I think it's going to soak through, going to have a ton of show through. But yeah, good in a pinch, not great if you use a bunch of different pens and inks. If you use dry media and gel ink, you're going to be fine. Now this notebook has the exact same paper in it, but a different cover. Obviously this is significantly fatter. It's a hardcover. The stitching is a little different. It's got the moleskin style stitching, but I think that's fewer stitches than most of the moleskin style sketchbooks that you find out there. And obviously it does have a place marker, which surprisingly was heat sealed on the end to prevent fraying when it arrived or when I picked it up. And then in the back, There is a pocket with the book cloth gussets there, pretty standard. And then a very sturdy, I'm quite pleased with this elastic. The elastic's quite nice. So yeah, the package on this is quite nice. I do notice that there's a lot of glue seep around the elastics. This one has some like denting around the elastic that doesn't look great. And then these, in terms of branding, the band here just slides off, so it's virtually unbranded except for this small blind emboss on the back, and that's the same here and there. That one feels like it's a little crooked, but that might just be because of that. This does have a stiffened spine, but I did notice that when I opened it up, it opens pretty flat on the table. So this is a nice flexible sketchbook, and the hardcover is nice and hard. So this might be a good little pocket notebook. But again, it has the same limitations in paper as this does. Just the paper is the limitation in this. This one does have 110 pages, is that, or 172 sheets, which is what, 144 pages. So 144 pages, 72 sheets in here. Yeah, it's, it's okay. It does have, I know there are some people who really hate overhang. This has a significant amount of overhang, which, depending on your pen, obviously you're not going to use a fountain pen with this because the paper is terrible, but yeah. Yeah, so this sketchbook is $5.84, which is, significantly cheaper than a Moleskine of the same size. And I think that the, in my experience, in terms of quality, the paper in this is about the same as the regular Moleskine. Not as thick and nice as the Sketch Moleskine, which has a heavier weight paper, probably 110 GSM, 90 pound, 110 GSM, something like that. Yeah, it's well made. It's just the paper's not right for me. The same for this. So your mileage may vary. You might end up falling in love with these things, and they're worth testing out depending on what you use for your sketching. So anyway, with that, thanks for being here. I hope you found some value in this little review thing that I'm doing. And anyway, thanks for the likes, subscriptions, and views and all of that. The comments are really great. So anyway, thanks, and I'll see you next time.